I am a tech optimist. I can say this now, though it wasn't always so. Growing up, I was fortunate to have computers at home from a young age, before it was common. I remember playing on our Amiga and then Commodore 64, and let me tell you, by 8 years old, I had an amazing grasp on geography, thanks to Carmen Sandiego and my school's Apple IIe. But I also saw how friends and family would spend time on computers and games that, while not excessive, I felt was at the expense of time and attention for me. And so despite creating my first website in 1994, my relationship with technology had taken a purely utilitarian bent, since I saw it as a detractor from the engagement with the people that I cared about. Have you ever wondered whether the latest advances in technology are helping or hurting our ability to focus on one another? Today, more than ever, we see each other focused on our digital devices to the isolation of all else around us, especially since we carry them with us wherever we go. In 2012, I was in a 1920s hotel in San Francisco. It felt like a classic theater because in addition to the glorious architecture, at the front of the room was a large projection screen, allowing for the presenter to tell us about the latest in digital marketing. I was at a conference. I was by myself. And I'm intrinsically shy. Given my propensity to what I then referred to as conference binge tweeting, now commonly called live tweeting, I was active, sharing metrics, tidbits, and learnings with the world. And then I saw it. We were sitting on long tables, and 2 rows in front of me on a laptop screen was my Twitter profile. Someone was looking me up. Now, we all know when we create a profile, it's to allow others to do just this. But still, this was the first time I literally saw, the convergence of the digital and physical world we live in. This was made even more compelling when later that same day in the lunch line, I pushed my shy self into conversation with the people standing next to me, only to learn that I'd been tweeting back and forth with one of the women all morning long. Social technology can make us more human. Let me explain. All around us, the world is being shaped by the forces of progress. There are technological megatrends both on our doorstep and on the near horizon that are impacting how we live our lives. Amazing advances in wearable technology, the fact that our biometric data, our location data can be tracked and analyzed. Add to that facial recognition technology that can monitor for human emotion. Most everything we do, where we go, and soon what we feel can be monitored and recorded. In the very near future, technology will advance even further with the growth and convergence of nano, bio, information, and cognitive science that will further market disruption and concern over privacy. Why then am I talking to you about technology making us more human? The answer is as simple as it is complex. Because of the advances in social, mobile, and digital communication channels, society has the ability to share ideas quickly and the opportunity to iterate off the ideas of others. The more data we create, and we are creating exponentially more data each year, the more human the message must be in order to garner our precious attention. In order for messages to resonate, they must be relevant to the individual, forcing us to embrace the ancient art of storytelling and bringing the importance of empathy and relationship to the foreground. Information has been democratized, bringing the power of an individual with a smartphone and an internet connection to the global stage, allowing them to share life's miracles and atrocities with a global audience. Do you realize that according to the World Bank, 2/3 of the population in India live on less than $2 a day? But the United Nations says that mobile phones are more common than toilets, with over half of India's 1.2 billion population armed with a handset. These devices foster access to banking and support commerce, allowing those in the developing world to raise their station and personal economic well-being. Mobile devices can make us more human. With wealth comes choice. Under what Hay Group calls Globalization 2.0, millions of people will discover a wider range of life and career options. They will have the freedom to make decisions based on values, not economics. This will change their motives as employees and consumers. Lifestyle, recognition, self-expression, and ethics will take priority over price, pay, and promotion. By 2020, Mark Prensky predicts that people across the globe will be plugged into the aorta, which is an acronym for Always On Real-Time Access. That's just 5 short years from now. People across the globe from anywhere on the planet will constantly be able to access news and information. This access to information is empowering people with economies of choice. Connectivity can make us more human. That the idea of empowered choice is impacting business models in the United States is clear. We need only look at the rise of Airbnb and Uber to see that truth. However, with the advance in new technology and the rise in global wealth, this is a truly global phenomenon that is advancing rapidly. With this globalization, with this democratization of information, the connected generation will have the power to disrupt industry, transform education, and shape global politics in ways never before imagined. People expect partnership, transparency, and authenticity from those that they choose to interact with. Organizations will need to crowdsource, co-create, and truly engage with their stakeholders, else they will not be chosen. Collaboration and co-creation can make us more human. And yet, despite the promise of new tech, can any of us truly imagine a world where there's no privacy? A world where every misstep from cradle to grave is digitally recorded and cached for all time? Can you imagine if that one thing from your childhood, that one thing that still makes you feel shameful, was permanently recorded forever? To this, I have 2 beacons of hope. The first is data-centric. Because we will continue to create exponentially more data, we, as humans, with the power of choice, will decide that it just doesn't make sense to keep everything. We will use the appropriate data in real time and discard the data that we don't need. The second is people-centric, because we humans are the ones that are architecting the systems, and we have the transparency of democratized information channels to monitor for abuses more readily. As digital users, we are all becoming more educated on how our digital footprints can be collected and analyzed. And digital natives are more proficient overall than their predecessors on the understanding of linguistics and understanding of digital. And finally, because it is an ever-human trait to protect that which is threatened. Threats to our security can make us more human. But what does it mean to be human anyway? I would pose 3 traits that epitomize humanity. 1, the drive for survival. 2, the desire to foster relationships. And 3, hope. Hope that we can improve our station. I believe it is human nature to overcome adversity, to struggle, to rise, to evolve, to advance, to learn. That we strive to connect with one another, to understand each other, to socialize and belong. And that beyond these basics, it is our hope, our dreams that push us forward to innovate and succeed. Hyper-connected, hyper-human, ultimately technology only amplifies our human traits, both good and bad. Yes, information can still be manipulated, security breached, identity stolen, but we will learn to better protect ourselves, allowing us to create, collaborate, and evolve. You have the power of choice, the power to let technology impact your life in a positive or negative way, to allow it to foster and enrich your real-life human relationships, hide behind it, or ignore it altogether. Ultimately, it is our human fallibility that gives me the most hope, our ability to self-correct and rise above. I can tell you that for me, with most of my family on the other side of the planet, technology is helping us stay connected in ways previously unimaginable. I regularly take walks around my mother's home and garden via Skype and share in the excitement as a brand new auntie. So I choose to be a tech optimist, to leverage a term I stumbled upon Twitter, believing that it's the empowerment gained and the transparency required that will allow us all to police for the black hats, allowing us to collaborate and interconnect as we crave. After all, isn't engagement what we as humans crave? So I leave you with this. Can technology make us more human? The choice is yours.